Welcome Bitcoin friends, it's Bitcoin Mamo. Today we're going to look at the Bitcoin charts. We'll do some TA. We'll give an update from that previous video and what we were looking at. Look at various time frames. We'll also look at market cipher. So let's get straight into the charts. This is on the 4-hour chart, and we did have this yellow triangle drawn here, and also this downward sloping trend line just connecting these two tops. And in the last video we were around this area, and we did get this crazy wick up and wick down, wiping out some of the shorts and the longs. And now we have started traveling back up here. It does look like we had a fake out here if looking at this yellow triangle, and we've managed to get back into this triangle now, and we are now testing the upper side of this triangle. We also talked about this triple bullish divergence here on the 4-hour chart, where we've had successive higher lows on the RSI and lower lows on the price. We did mention that this is quite often a good indication of a bottom, and it has played out. We have come back to the upside. We are above this daily order block here on the 4-hour chart, but I would like to see the day close above this order block. The top of this order block's at 46,390. And I think if we can close the day above the top of this order block, then I think that it's highly likely that we will break to the upside from this yellow triangle. The fact that we had that triple bullish divergence here on the 4-hour, and that we had this fake out below the triangle and came back into it, gives me a lot of confidence that we are going to move higher. And just to show you that daily order block here, it's using this green candle. In this downtrend, we had indecision here. There was buyers and sellers, so there was a lot of trading here, and this becomes an area of interest when we do test it again. You can see we got rejected twice here from this order block, and now we've managed to get above it. But again, we need to watch for the daily close to close above this order block, and that would give me confidence that we are going to break this triangle and move to the next daily order block up here, which is between 47,970 and 48,600. We could possibly come down for one more test off the bottom of this yellow triangle before breaking to the upside. We can see we have had one touch here on the bottom, one on the top, the second touch down here, and this is our second touch on the top of this trend line. So normally we do break on the third touch, so it wouldn't surprise me if we did come back down for one more touch here and then come back up to break this yellow triangle. We also have the 4-hour EMA ribbon here that we were talking about yesterday, and we said it does take a couple of times to break this ribbon quite often, and we did get rejected here on the first occasion and also on this big wick here. And then on this third occasion, we have managed to close above the 4-hour EMA ribbon. And to give a bit more confidence, I'd like to see an open and a close above the EMA ribbon. So we'll have to watch how these next 4-hour candles play out, and also the daily close. You might also be forming a head and shoulders pattern here, where we have the left shoulder there, the head coming all the way down to here, and we might do one more right shoulder at the bottom of this yellow triangle before breaking back out again. If that were the case, the measured move would be calculated from the bottom of the head to the neckline, and the measured move would be all the way back up at 50,476. But I think we would battle this daily order block first before getting to that target. Perhaps we'll come up here, retest this neckline, and then go higher if we are going to break out. But I would say there is a higher chance that we are going to break to the upside from this yellow triangle. We can also see this golden cross is getting very, very close. I do think by the next daily open, we will see this golden cross. As we can see, these lines are getting very, very close here. I don't think it will happen today. I do think once the day closes and the new candle opens, we'll see that cross. And the only way to prevent this cross before tomorrow would be if Bitcoin were to go back down to 43,350. And we can see those two lines would be exactly touching. So anything below that 43,350 would prevent the golden cross, but we would most likely still see it the day after that. Looking at the daily chart, we can see this wick down that we had just recently, doing the fib from the low here to the top. We can see that we pretty much came down close to that 0.618 level in this golden pocket area, and then we did get this spring back up. This daily order block also held here. We've only wicked into it. We've done that 4 times and it has held. So there is a lot of demand when we do come down to these areas, and that's led us to push back up above this daily order block at the moment. And again, that next daily order block isn't until we get to the 49,000 area, and that order block comes from all the way back here when we did have this green candle in this downtrend. Another thing that we notice is doing this trend line here, connecting the tops and also this top here. We can see that we pulled back pretty much to that trend line and bounced right off it. We were talking about this trend line for quite a while before we did have this massive pullback here. And we said this is an important trend line that I would expect us to bounce off. The daily EMA ribbon has been holding. And I did say if we can get back up inside this ribbon before the daily close, then this will be still classed as acting as support. And we did close just above it here at 44,960. We opened the next day right at the bottom of this ribbon. And currently we're pushing to the top of the ribbon. The top of the ribbon is at 47,100 approximately. So similar thing with that 4-hour EMA ribbon. If we can close above this 47.1 area, then we will break both of those ribbons and be a really good sign for the bulls. And I would expect us to come to this next order block here. We also talked about this hidden bullish divergence that was building up between this point and this low. And we can see lower lows on the RSI, higher lows on the price. And I did say I want to see Bitcoin close above this order block for that to be confirmed. We haven't closed this daily yet, but we are closing it soon. So if we can hold above this order block, then I think that hidden bullish divergence is confirmed, and I do think we'll move higher. We also have this trend line drawn on the RSI that was connecting these lows here. We can see we came back to that trend line. We came back down to test it again, didn't quite touch it, and now we have bounced. And I did expect this trend line to act as support. Everything's looking good for the bulls. We also have the stochastic RSI, which completely cooled off and is starting to tick up again. I would like to see it get above this 20 line, but everything looks like it's all setting up for a move to the upside. That golden cross, the EMA ribbon acting as support, this trend line, that triple bullish divergence on the 4-hour, and the hidden bullish divergence on the daily. This order block here at 49K is similar to an order block on the weekly also, and we'll just go into that chart. So we see on the weekly we had this red candle in this uptrend, and this is a weekly order block. We can see it's at that similar level around 49K where that daily order block is. We also see that on this pullback we did test the top of this EMA ribbon again on the weekly, and it did act as a strong support. We're also watching the RSI on the weekly here, and we're watching this downward sloping trend line, and we are coming up to it again here, but there are still quite a few days left to close the weekly. We also talked about these 2 trend lines here that I had drawn, and I said this is another area that I think is going to act as support. And as I mentioned in that previous video, we can see that this acted as support during the 2016-2017 bull run, and also the start of this bull run after the stock market crashed several times here. So a lot of things lining up. Things are looking good for the bulls here. And over to market Cipher, we can see we got a green dot here on the 4-hour. The blue wave has crossed the 0 line here. The money flow starting to come up this little green section here. This wave is still quite thick. There's no red dots present here. The 6-hour did get a green dot here. The blue wave starting to come up. We mentioned that this was quite choppy here with these green and red dots, so we had to look at the higher time frames. And when we made that last video, we did have this green dot here on the 12-hour, and then we did have this red dot that wasn't confirmed yet. I did say we might get a green dot, red dot, green dot here, and we'll probably have to look to the daily for a green dot to get that final confirmation. So we can see on the daily, this is starting to close up here. We are getting very close to a green dot. I think there's a good chance we might see that tomorrow. That would also coincide with the golden cross. So it does seem to be setting up for a very bullish setup here. I was also asked by someone in the comments, can you set up alerts for these red dots and these green dots on Market Cipher? So I'll just quickly show you how to do that. And if you just go into the alarm clock here on the alerts and you create alert, you can see here in the condition, you can select a Market Cipher B, and then you can click on this downward arrow here, and you can go green dot or the small red dot. So the green dot are these major ones on the bottom, obviously, and the red dot are the ones on the top. And just be on the time frame that you want to be on to see that green or red dot. I think that's about everything. Be watching Bitcoin closely here coming into the daily close. I think if we can get a pullback down here to the bottom of this trend line, this would be a good longing opportunity, and I would probably go into a long myself here, but we might not come all the way down. We might break a trend line first, but again, I will wait for that daily green dot to confirm that. So I'd be looking for this area at around 45,870. Or if we do close the daily above this order block, above 46,390, and see that green dot, then that will give me confidence to go into the trade also. I think that's about all. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll do another video in a couple of days and keep following this price action, as I think the rest of this week is quite important to the Bitcoin price and how this pattern plays out. So thanks for watching. I'm Bitcoin Mamo. See you next time. Bye.